Hello, my Optimist friends and family. I'm Membership Chair Russ Thomas. You know, from time to time through our Optimist International travels, whether it be through Zoom or in person, we have the great opportunity to meet and speak with many great optimists. This membership segment is about two of those optimists and how each one has been affected positively through their club building and membership efforts. I'd like to thank Marvin Westel from the Nebraska District and local membership chair for inviting me to enjoy these member testaments. The first one is from Amy Giraud of Okotoks, a town in Providence, Alberta, Canada. And the second is from Maureen Hunsberger from the Optimist Club of Broken Bow, Nebraska. I hope you enjoy these two remarkable persons as they tell their story. I ask you to hang in there as there are multiple observations from Governor Sandra Allen and member David Catalan. And Marvin, I know I told you I was going to edit you out of this and these comments, but I just couldn't help myself. Your ending summation touched my heart. So here goes. Please enjoy.
And so optimism has always been in my life. I've always known about optimists. I never thought that it would be in my life the way it is today. But I was, like Marvin said, I was going through kind of a rough patch. My family and I moved to a new town and moved to the country. I live on a farm. It's still within town limits, but it's excluded. And so I kept calling Tracy, my person, to kind of say like, hey, I'm just down. I'm having a hard time. I felt socially awkward, disconnected with other people around me. I dropped my kid off for daycare and it was just that social awkward. I didn't know how to communicate with other moms, for heaven's sakes. I'd lost it. And Tracy was like, Amy, I think you need to go join your local Optimist Club. And then she told me later on, there is no Optimist Club in Okotoks. So I did, I will admit, I did kind of go door knocking. I checked out the Rotary Club. I did check out like Lions and stuff, but they just were not for me. And I knew about the Optimist Creed and I read the Optimist Creed and I definitely knew that that's what I wanted to instill in my children's lives. And so there was no other option. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to be more outgoing and I'm going to have to build this thing. And so I went around, I talked to all my friends. My friends were like, well, I'm interested, but you're also outside of town. I don't want to drive all the way into town every time we want a meeting, because they were outside in Calgary, which is just probably half an hour away from where I live. And so I posted up ads on Facebook, and it was Optimist. Would you join an Optimist Club that brought you programs for kids, happiness and fulfillment, and all of these beautiful things about optimism? And I said, would you want to join something like that? And I had a great response from that Facebook post. And people started messaging me and saying, yeah, when would you have a meeting? So I started in the library, in our local library, and rented a room there, and 2 people showed up. And I was a little discouraged. And then I had another meeting a little bit after that, kept posting up on Facebook, on Instagram. Our local newspaper sent me a message saying, would you do an interview? I said, yes, let's do it. Had a radio interview, had a newspaper article, another Facebook post, and I kept having empty boardrooms. So I was getting discouraged, and I kept calling Tracy, and she's like, Amy, don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep trying. They're out there. And I became more outgoing, and I actually started talking to the grocery store clerk. I'm not even kidding. I would just start yamming on about optimists and why you should join this really cool, great club. It's for everybody. And she was interested. And I made cards to hand out to people to call me. And then after 6 months of really pushing my feet to the pedal, or whatever that saying would say, I had, I think, 18 members 6 months later, and we organized our official, what is that called? It was an organizational meeting. And we had a club in Okotoks, and it's actually grown from there. We have over 20 members now, and Okotoks it's not big, but it's a very young community. So a lot of my members are younger. We have a lot of young moms, dads, one of the members that brought in most of my members has a real estate business, and he put it out on his social media, and it just boomed. And so now we're actually the club to look out for in Okotoks. We are turning heads, as they would say, and it's really cool to have that spotlight. And it's even funny because my kids go to school, and I have moms in the parking lot that come up to me now, and they're like, "Oh, you're Amy, you started that club. I saw your picture in the newspaper." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." And now the moms are wanting to join my club, and it's really cool. And then, so from that, I also started a junior Optimist club, because now I've got all these fun moms who wanted, help out at the food bank and donate money and have these fun fundraisers, and who were feeling the same way I was, and disconnected and really needing to do something in the community, wanting to be fulfilled. And so it's a great feeling. So I also had a visit from Jim Boyd, actually came in and helped me. We went to talk to in Canada, we have MLAs and prime ministers. And so he actually came with me. I was shaken, and he came in with me, and he's helped me talk to our MLA in the area. And actually it's funny now, because he knows my name. I have his cell phone number, so I can call him up whenever I have an event to come to, and he brings more people in, and it's great. It's a good feeling. And I'm happy I have Optimism in my life now, and I'm a different person than I was, 2 years ago. And actually I have a goal. I have more goals now, and I am so close to getting my Distinguished President's Watch. So I'm probably going to cry tears of joy that day, but it's a really good feeling. And I've had a lot of other optimists help me along the way, like Tracy, Amy, keep trying, it's going to happen. And it did. And it's, you just got to keep trying and keep faith. And you know what, the other thing I noticed was people became members because they saw the passion that I had for optimism, and what our community needed this, and I needed this. And if you're like me, you need this. And so they want to join because they see that you're passionate about it. I would say it depends on a lot of the different things that you're passionate about. So we made soup for Rowan House families, which is a group of it's a group of moms who leave socially abused relationships and are in kind of incognito. So they're hiding away from their spouses that were mean to them, right? So Rowan House family. So we made soup for these moms, and we donated it. And the turnout that we had for this event was unbelievable. The passion it depends on what you're passionate about. There's other things that we do, like a pumpkin chunkin fundraiser. And we actually don't get a lot of the members that join that because we raise money for the food bank, but we get a lot of community that come to that because it's a really cool event. But I feel like my members are very passionate about giving to people who need help and assistance and in our neighborhood, and the kids that need a place to go. Like another thing we did, sorry, I'm bribing now. We painted our local youth center, and it was in a basement of our rec room, and it was really dark and it wasn't inviting. And so we painted it, and all of my members showed up again. They want to see the youth happy in a positive place. So I think for them, it's personal, whatever they choose that they feel like they need to give to, and it makes them feel happy that they're being able to provide for their community or for people. Just kind of depends on what they are connected to. But I would feel everybody kind of gets something out of optimism, right? So, and I was starting up the Okotoks Optimist Club. It was the High River Club and the Calgary Club that are about 20 minutes each away from me. Contacted me and said, we will be your sponsors when you create this club. And I said, great. And I had learned that Calgary Club has quite a number of people. It's a bigger city, so obviously they've got their numbers of members. And the High River Club at the time had 4 members. And then there was Marilyn Bushell is my governor, and she had told the president of the High River Club that if they don't bring in any more members, that they will become dissolved. is the word. And so I said, well, let's work on getting High River some more members, because if you don't live in Okotoks, the next town over is High River, and that's another community that is growing with young adults and children. So I said, let's try to get some more members. So posted up on Facebook again, did what we could, and we moved the dates of our meetings so that we could make it more accessible for anybody who works during the day and stuff. And I think we're up to 7 members now, where we were at 4. And this was also during COVID. So I would say 7's better than 4, especially during a pandemic. That's just the optimist in me, I guess, but better than where we were and still more to go. So we have some strategies to keep building and keep growing that club too.
I actually do have a question for Amy because of one word she just said. We have strategies for growing our membership. Do you want to enlighten us about 1 or 2 of those?
I wrote some help or wanted ads on Facebook, and it was a description of different memberships that you can apply for. So it was like a job wanted ad, and people would apply for a job, and certain people who are event planners can say, hey, I fit all the qualification for applying for this fundraiser event coordinator, and it's a volunteer opportunity. I'd be giving back to the community, and I could possibly get my own name out there with my own things. And so posting up on Facebook that we were looking for members, but also saying that this would help you as well if you qualify for this, this, and this. And then other people who might be running for town council or something, it would also appeal to them, because they would be, running meetings or reaching out to young adults and young teens and kids even, and what are they doing to give back to the community? So yeah, we did posters, but that didn't really work out during COVID times. But that was probably the main one that got a lot of attention, was our not help wanted. It was just wanted ads. And then it was a description of different positions within the club. Even I think the first one we ran was a board member ad, and right before our election, and I had 6 phone calls in a day wanting to know more. So that was really big.
Great.
We are about to have a new Optimism Welcome Party too, which is going to be middle of August. And I have put out the word to invite all of your friends and stuff. And it's actually at a brand new, another strategy maybe, a brand new restaurant that had just opened up in Okotoks, our area. And we have the patio space, and I think it's a hot spot, right? So people want to come in, check out this new restaurant, and hey, this local club is having a meeting. I think that sounds interesting. I might have to pop in. I haven't been to the restaurant. I haven't met the club. Great opportunity. So, and we've got a really cool game that one of my members is creating, where you put names on. You may have already played this game. I've never played this game, but you put names on on your back. You don't know who you are, but you have to walk around the room, and people give you clues for who you might be on that, with the name on your back. And I don't know, sounds interesting. Gets you talking to strangers, gets you communicating with other people, and just having fun.
So if I might ask one, by the way, Amy, fantastic job. I tell you, it's pretty exciting and I think I kind of feed off of people that get really excited, kind of like you. It makes me feel good too. But I'm just wondering, with your members, it seems like your membership that you've got is 100% doing programs and those things that make you feel good. And how about the meetings? Where are your meetings at, and how often do you have them?
Our meetings go at different places. We have 2 meetings a month. We have 1 Zoom meeting for anybody who can't attend the regular meeting. And then we have a regular meeting, which will be, we have pop-up locations. So we pick a local restaurant or a park where our kids can play at the same time outside. If it's cold, then we meet at the library or other just indoor places. But usually it's, hey, this new hotspot pizza place, or this new pub, or my backyard. Sometimes it's just in my backyard, but it does change. We don't have just a one spot place because we are trying to move about Okotoks to get people talking about us. So
Maybe onto something. I mean, I like that idea. It's certainly worthy of sharing to our other Optimist clubs that, say we can't find just one spot, but it sounds like, the idea is find multiple spots and move it around a little bit. You can reach more audience in those.
yeah.
So it sounds like those members you got really are feeling like they're part of something great. And the program. So the other question is, with the programs that you have, is that the recommendations coming from the membership themselves, or do you have somebody that's in charge of finding those?
No, it's coming from the memberships that they say, hey, Amy, I've heard of this place, and I would love to do a fundraiser for them. And so we will run a fundraiser for this one particular place. And then the youth center actually reached out to us to say, hey, would you guys be interested? This is what we need. And I brought it to my members, they jumped on it. So some places come to us, some places are my members' ideas.
Yeah, great. So, I mean, there's a lot of emotional connection between your members and the programs that they got. And a lot of times we don't ask our membership that. I mean, you'll find we get dead set in some of our ways. And it's great to be, new in the game of optimism, because you really remember that it's really about, the community and the children.
One thing I do want to mention, though, too, is actually we start our meetings. I know the Optimist Creed, a lot of members or a lot of clubs read it at the end of the meeting. We actually start our meeting with reading the creed because it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the meeting, which I kind of love. I love that part about it. So just mention that.
Amy, you also was involved with starting a Joy Club. Share a moment why and what stimulated this.
I cannot take much credit for that. That was actually my kids were coming with me to all my meetings, and so eventually we noticed that some of the kids would pretend have a meeting while we were having our meeting, and they wanted pins of their own and stuff, and it was really cute at first. And I said, well, let's see if now that our adult club is established, let's see if we can create a Joy Club. And it's actually hilarious because that actually came together so much faster than the adult club did. And I posted again on Facebook, and more moms messaged me, I'm not interested, but I think my daughter would be interested. And they become members because their daughter's a member, and they're coming home I send homework after our meetings, and the kids have a talking stick. So the first meeting I had with these kids, there was a lot of talking over each other. The boys were not listening. The girls were coloring, and it was a mess. And then the second meeting we had, I was like, here's a talking stick. Let's decorate it while we have our chat. And then we had a chat, and some of these kids had such great ideas about how to raise money. Where would we send the money to? And this was also during the time that a lot of the graves were found, and some of those unmarked graves were found in Canada for the Indigenous people that were going to Catholic schools. And they wanted to raise money and books for these people. And it was beautiful that these children, ages 6 to 14, were thinking of this. And they are also talking about saving the bees. And I was like, well, this is great. I love that you guys have all of your own vision. So it was not led by me. It was children led. And I said, where do you guys see yourselves going with this? And they want to give money. They want to give money to the food bank, and they want to make jewelry to sell, to give to the kids. And I was like, this is so beautiful. So they started it. They have more friends than I do. So it came together a lot faster for them.
Is from Broken Bow, Nebraska. And
Yes.
she's been a president, lieutenant governor for the district. And Maureen's really got an interesting story that really touched me, because her club was just kind of so drifting. And Maureen sensed this. And so she, again, didn't want to see the Broken Bow Optimist Club disappear. So she took action, just like Amy did. And Maureen, again, I tip my hat to you. And so we're ready to hear your story of where were you and what invigorated or got you stimulated to do what you've done.
Okay, so we kind of started with, COVID started and we were looking at our club and it's the same 5 people doing everything, and some people would pay, but they didn't show up. And then we had people who were not members, but they would coach like soccer. So we didn't have it all together, I guess. So what we decided to do as a club, we got together and we said, okay, we either need to get going and be an actual club, or, there's not going to be an Optimist in Broken Bow, because the same 5 people can't keep doing everything. So what we did is, I said, well, we'll just run around and ask people. And a lot of the members just didn't do it. I was the only one running around asking people. And I got 1 member in like a year and a half. So I went back to the meeting and I said, okay, if members aren't going to ask other members, then I think we need to do like a media run and say, go on the radio and talk about, like, there's community members in Broken Bow that don't even know that the programs that are being run are Optimist programs. So I said, we need to let people know that these are Optimist programs that their kids are involved in. And then I also wrote a letter to the editor. Well, the paper asked if they could do an article on us. And I said, sure, tell them, we need members, or, you're not going to have these programs. Well, they did the person in the paper who was doing the article is a part of another organization. So she decided this was a great time to talk about all organizations. So it wasn't just about Optimist, it was about all organizations in Broken Bow. So it didn't really hit what I wanted it to. So I thought, why don't I just write a letter to the editor? Because everybody reads the letters to the editor of your paper, because usually it's because someone's mad or something. So people want to know what the dirt is in their town. So I wrote this letter to the editor, and I think I had 2 or 3 people just walk into my office and say, we read the letter. I'm sure some of them were brand new people in town and they had no idea that the soccer program was Optimist. So they said, yeah, we want to join. So it just kind of added and added. And then when members came, then other members were like, oh, let's go ask people now, because they get excited. And then the new members, I said, so when can you have a meeting? And like Amy, we went from a noon meeting, we went to an evening meeting, because the new members, it was easier for them to come, and we're actually doing it right after work. So it's like at 5:15 at the place right on the square. So it's, accessible to everyone. One of our Optimist members owns Legends Bar and Grill, and they have an upstairs area. So we meet upstairs because it's private. And yeah, we're getting way better. Where we used to get 4 members in a meeting, we have 12 showing up for sure, if not more. So we changed the time of the meeting. Then I said, okay, we're on a run. I said, if we didn't get 15 new people, we were going to close. We're going to close shop. And, we didn't want to, and it was a little bit of a hollow threat, but it's almost like we had to threaten our community not to have these programs, or people wouldn't join. And, I threatened in a very positive way. So we ended up getting some members, and like I said, members got excited, and then the new members got excited. So we did a cornhole tournament for a membership drive, and everybody had to bring a partner, and they could not be it couldn't be your spouse, and it could not be another Optimist member. So everybody, people went and asked, which I was surprised. They hadn't done that before. So everybody went and asked, and brought lots of new members in, and we had 4 sign up that night. And then we're working on 3 more at least. And I'm a real estate agent, so I've been a tad bit busy lately. I told Marvin, real estate's just going crazy everywhere, and even in Broken Bow. So we're going to get them before the end of September. And the next thing we're going to do is, what I decided on our group is, there's lots of groups in Broken Bow, and they're all of them are about service, 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 you know, volunteer, 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 and do things for others, which is all great. And that's a great part of our club. But what I think we're lacking is the networking and the fellowship and just doing things for us, just doing things as a club that are fun for us. We have a lot of money and our programs are taking some of that money, but we keep making more money and people are happy to help with the fundraisers. So I told him, I said, the next thing I want to do is I want to do something every quarter that's just fun for the group. So the cornhole tournament was fun and it was a membership thing, but it was fun. So the next thing I want to do is a scavenger hunt, and it's just going to be for Optimist members. And this one I'm going to make exclusive to Optimist members. So then people are out talking about it, and it's, well, how did you do, where was this at? Why were you doing a scavenger hunt? What was that all about? Well, how come I didn't know about it? Well, you know, it's an Optimist thing. So I want a couple things to be exclusive so that people go, well, I think I want to be a part of that club. And the one thing circling back to the cornhole tournament, Amy also, she said, I just started asking people, like her grocery store person. So that made me laugh because it reminded me we're doing this cornhole tournament and my husband walks up to the bartender we were doing it at a golf course. And there was a bartender there and he goes, don't you have kids? She goes, yeah, I have two. And he goes, don't you want to be a part of Optimist? Don't you want to be part of this cool group? And she's like, well, yeah, I do. So it just made me laugh because just like she talked to the clerk, you know, you just have to talk to people that you're seeing and ask them, you know, this is what we do. And so we want to ask, yeah, this affects your kids. So we want to do more of that. And then, like I said, I want to do something quarterly. And then in the spring quarter, we're going to do another fun. It's going to be as a group and it's going to be fun, but it's going to be a trivia night. But that's going to be another fundraiser. So we have someone who just joined that was part of a school in Lincoln, Nebraska. And this trivia night was a fundraiser for their school. So she's going to head it since she's been at one. And it's a new member heading it. So, you know, we're getting them involved right away. And, you know, that's just kind of the way I'm going with it is, yes, we'll keep doing the programs we've always done. But what we're trying to do to get more people involved is to do some fun things that are going to grab the attention of people in the community to say, what is Optimist? What are they doing? I keep seeing these people around doing things. And then, of course, I think we need to, it was a wake up call that people didn't know the programs that are being done, that the Optimist was doing them. I have no clue who they think was doing soccer and volleyball and football. I don't know who they thought was doing it. Just these parents were showing up and doing it. I don't know. But it was an eye opener that the parents were not aware of the group. So that's another goal, is to make all the new people coming in and the new parents aware of our group.
You said at one point you diplomatically threatened the community with the club going away and, you know, taking its ball and going home.
Yeah.
Can you give an example of how you worded that?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I wrote and rewrote that letter to the editor because I wanted it to be to the point, but I didn't really want to threaten. I just wanted to say,
Not adversarial.
Right. So I think the way I worded it was, you know, do you know of these programs? These wonderful, I think I said, you know, fantastic programs that your kids are involved in, and named a few of them. You know, these are things that we need to keep going in our community. But unfortunately, we don't have enough Optimist members to take care of all these programs. So, you know, we need new Optimist members in order to keep these these programs running and even grow more programs. But without your help, these programs may not, I think I said these programs may not be here anymore. So it was kind of a, you know, I want you to know that if you don't, and we really were, I mean, the 5 or 6 of us that were left, I've been an optimist since my 28-year-old was 8. So, little tired. You know, I needed more people. And like I said, I'm in real estate now. When I started in Optimist, I was a stay-at-home mom. I did the books for my husband's business. So I had ample time to do a lot of Optimist things. And I was secretary treasurer for 8 years. So I was kind of that, I don't know, the heartbeat of our Optimist club. I kept everything running. If you had a question, you know, where's that letter? Where's this? Where's that? Have we paid this? I was the person they turned to. I needed, you know, we needed help. And I told him, I said, you know, I think we need to start threatening. And I hate to do it, but it worked.
I had the pleasure of joining the Broken Bow Club a couple of weeks ago, Linda Wheeler and I, and they were having one of their fun nights. And I asked, you know, what are your fundraisers? And she says, well, our sports, what we do, that's how we raise our funds. And I thought that was a great way to stay focused on the thing that you do and get everything done that you need to do, you know? So it's not only a fundraiser, but it's a fundraiser, it's their community activity, it's everything all rolled up into one. And so I thought that was great organization.
I don't have any questions, but I have to say, I'm glad I came to this meeting tonight because I loved listening to Amy and to Maureen. It's making me happy with their joy. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
There's no border there between Canada and Nebraska, because what they've done transcends all boundaries. And it's just so inspirational to understand their passion. And perhaps all of us can really glom onto a bit of that passion to make ourselves and our clubs feel the same way as they have over the years. Thank you, Amy and Maureen, for doing that.
And so David, Marvin, I think what David just said is a great segue to what I wanted to say. You know, it is very important that we continue to fellowship with each other and hear each other's story. And we have a great opportunity coming up. Our first and only in-person district meeting. When you're there, share your stories. Because I promise you, whatever challenge you're going through, some other club is going through it now, has been through it before, or about to go through it. So let's sign up for our convention. It's going to be an exciting time. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to try to roll everything up from the last 3 quarters into one. So come on, be there,
People,
be
again,
square.
kind of in closing, I challenge each of you, I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. If you believe in optimism, which we all do, then please use that 3-letter word, not once, not twice, but many, many times, ASK. Because if we don't reach out and share with others like Amy and Mo have done, then we're going to disappear. And optimism means too much to each of us. And we must realize the legacy that we want to keep on going way beyond us. So again, I leave you with this word, ASK, ask, and you'll receive much, much in return.